Poland is calling for the prosecution of police officers involved in the arrest of a Polish immigrant who died minutes after being tasered at Vancouver International Airport last month. A spokesperson for the Polish Foreign Ministry calling the incident, which was caught on tape, excessively brutal and unjustified. Multiple investigations have been triggered, along with a re-evaluation of the weapon itself. Here's Jazz Johal.
He almost threw the church through the window to get us.
It's a video seen around the world, one that has once again fueled the debate on the use of tasers by police. Robert Zakansky is just one of 286 people who have died after being hit with a taser gun, a device many argue that's being used too often by law. In Zakansky's situation, there were 4 officers on the scene.
I think that they just rushed into this and took this man out as quickly as they could and were ready to head off onto other duties. And they didn't do the right thing. They didn't negotiate. They didn't try to calm the situation, and they didn't try to overpower him.
Police have demonstrated the use of tasers to the public in controlled situations. In its training, the RCMP recommends the use of tasers early on in confrontations, even before using pepper spray, tear gas, striking an individual, and even the use of a baton. Ravi Hira was involved in Canada's first taser-related court case, where he successfully defended an RCMP officer.
Try to diffuse, and if that cannot be done, and there is a threat to safety, there's a threat of injury, then the training is to move up and use other options.
And what is appropriate with 4 officers at a scene will be the center of the investigation. Jazz Johal, Global News, Vancouver.
Giuliano Zaccardelli was commissioner of the RCMP when tasers became a controversial weapon of deterrence for the Mounties. How does he feel now?
Tasers came into being for the RCMP under your watch. Now a huge debate about whether or not the Mounties should have them, whether any police force should have them. Why did you approve them?
Actually, Peter, I'm not sure that I actually approved them, but they clearly came into focus while I was commissioner, and I supported them most of the time because they were another tool.
You still feel that way, that it's a good deterrent?
The good thing about being away from the commissioner's job is it gives you some distance and perspective. And I have been watching with some great dismay over the last while in terms of what's going on with the tasers in Canada. And, you know, after all that I've thought about it, I've come more and more to the conclusion that I'm not sure that having tasers is worth the negative impact that it has on police forces in terms of public perception.
But is it a public perception problem, or is it a safety issue?
Well, it is a safety issue. But the fact is, we have a lot of tools that we can use from a safety perspective. But I'm very concerned between the perception and in cases, unfortunately, where we've had misuse, that we have to seriously consider maybe taking away that. I actually came close. When I was commissioner, at one point, after reviewing a particular situation, it was just very difficult for me to understand how the misuse of the taser could have taken place. I actually started to give an order to take it away. My good Deputy Commissioner of Operations talked me out of it, but I actually came close to taking it away. And from what I've seen in the last while, I seriously question the value of the taser.
Now, here's something you don't get to do every day. I'm about to zap this willing volunteer with 50,000 volts.
What we have in this situation is Tony. He's going to come at me, but the fact that he has a lethal weapon in the space of just a few feet, he could actually kill me. less than lethal option in my hand. Will it make the difference? Here we go. What company has created the most popular, less than lethal option on the planet?
Let go of the knife! Let go of the knife!
The answer is Taser International, and their innovative product is the X26. In a dangerous situation without other options, shooting a hostile individual may be your only recourse. That's why less than lethal weapons need to exist. It's immediate, it's overwhelming, and it instantly stops violent situations like these from escalating into deadly ones.
Do you want to comply?
Yes.
This is less than lethal technology at its very best.
Once you take a hit, until you take that hit, man, that's when they say, holy, this really can do what it said it's supposed to do.
You felt it all the way through, didn't you? Beyond a shadow of a doubt.
That was a good ride. It totally locks up your muscles. You can't do anything.
We're giving the bullet an overhaul. We think 50 years from now, the world's going to be a very different place.
Just like that. Go from one situation where the guy has a lethal weapon to a situation where the guy no longer wants to do damage to you. Thanks, Tony.
Anytime.